Hi everyone, welcome back. My name is Stephanie. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today I am bringing you my first update for my Pan That Palette 2018. I chose my Too Faced Semi-Sweet Chocolate Bar palette. Before I get into what my palette currently looks like, I did want to mention that I took pictures of a few looks that I wore throughout the past month, and so I will talk about them and show you them at the end of the video. And thank you, Danny, for kind of inspiring me to do that kind of a lookbook portion of a Pan That palette. I think it's so fun to see how people use shades and incorporate other shades into their Pan That palettes. So with that being said, here is what my palette looked like in the introduction video. And here is what my palette currently looks like. A couple big changes that I'm very excited about. First one, the shade Coconut Creme is gone, as I predicted that it would be. It wasn't a hard shade for me to use it because I use cream shades like crazy, so I'm sad that it's gone, but happy that it's gone, you know what I'm saying? The shade Mousse, I did expand the pan just a little bit, and I also have been working around on the shadow this side of the pan right over here, so hopefully you can tell that I have been growing the dip, and it has inevitably been growing the pan size. Speaking of pan size that have grown, the shade Nugget has grown significantly. I'm pretty sure that last month the pan size kind of resembled the shade Mousse, but now you can see it is so big. And I do have a pretty significant dip going around the pan as well, so very exciting progress on that one. Another really exciting thing to show you guys, the shade Puddin', I actually hit pan on yesterday when I was doing my brows, and the past couple times when I've been doing my brows, I was like, God, it looks like I'm gonna hit pan in 2 seconds. Why isn't it hitting pan? But I finally hit pan yesterday, and I was just like, finally! I'm so excited. I've been using the shade Truffles quite a bit in my crease as a transition shade. I've been rarely using it as a shade in the front of my brows, although I did use it in that fashion today. I just find it's very much quicker to use my Anastasia Dip Brow on a day-to-day basis, or if I have less time, I'll just throw this Puddin' shade all in my brow and then just call it a day. So that one has a little bit of progress in it, but not too much, which is okay. The shade Peanut Butter, though, I have been using, not consistently, but I have been using it quite a lot, and I really love this eyeshadow. I have it like in my crease as a kind of transition shade today. I just really love this, so I am really excited to use the hell out of it during the fall time. A lot of people told me different ways I can use Cocoa Chili after I uploaded my introduction video, so thank you guys so much for all your suggestions. It really helped me out, and so I realized after I put this on my little fluffy brush that I normally put shadows in my crease, and then I kind of tapped off the excess. The glitter doesn't really translate as strongly as you'd expect when you see it in the pan, and so I used it a couple times here and there, but I mostly reached for Truffled, and I actually figured out, well, not figured out, I more realized that the brown shade that Coconut Chili has is very similar to Truffled. So if I did want to focus on Truffled just in my brows, I have a similar brown shade to Truffled in this palette as well, and as long as I tap off the excess or just blow on my brush a little bit, it knocks off all of the glitter, so it's a usable crease shade. I did use Blueberry Swirl once or twice, so you can kind of see a dip forming in right over there. I use a little smaller Real Technique kind of detailed brush, and I packed it on the outside of my lid, and I kind of blended it out, and I did a blue look, which was very fun. I don't know if I took a picture of that, but I did do a blue look with this, and also with my Makeup Geek Peacock shadow. So I use those two in a look, and so I really enjoyed using that. I have been using caramel and bonbons on my lids, as well as butter pecan. I use that on my lid as well as a face highlight. It is stunning as a face highlight. You'll see a picture of that in a little bit. Besides that, I don't think I ever touched licorice. I use, and I also use hot fudge, frosting, and rum raisins sometimes as a crease shade, but I've kind of been focusing more on the mattes for right now. Today I actually use hot fudge on the outer portion of my lid. That's the darker kind of brown that you see there, and I do really enjoy using these more satiny shades in my crease and as well on the outer portion to darken up looks. It just adds a certain little twist to a look. I don't know how to describe it, but I just really enjoy using them in my crease, but I have been using the matte shades more, and that's more what I gravitate towards when I'm getting ready in the morning. So with that being said, that is my update on what my palette looks like after my first month of kind of consistent use. Again, as I kind of mentioned in my introduction video, I started this project so early so that if I wanted to be a little more lenient on myself, I was able to, but also I haven't really been wearing a lot of makeup consistently. I only really wear makeup 3 times solidly a week, or maybe if I'm doing something with friends on the weekend and so I'll put makeup on, but consistently I've only really been wearing makeup 3 times a week, and so that's why the progress really isn't that much on some of the shades, but I do have really good use in some other ones. So with that being said, I want to jump into the little lookbook portion of my Pan That Palette update, again inspired by Danny. I really love watching all of her lookbooks at the end of her Paul videos or Pan That Palette videos. So I'm going to start with the look that I am wearing currently. I have been using a cream shade in my Morphe and Kathleen Lights eyeshadow palette to set down my eyeshadow primer every single day. So that isn't in that palette because out of necessity, I don't have a cream shade in this palette anymore. So for this look, I have Nugget and Mousse as transition shades. I put a lot of Nugget first, and then I go back in and kind of deepen it up with Mousse, since this brown shade is a little deeper than Nugget. And then I went crazy with Peanut Butter all in my crease. I put a little bit of hot fudge on the outer portion of my lid, kind of brought it into the crease, but then went back into peanut butter to warm it up with that orange. Underneath my very shiny eyelid today, I have my Maybelline Color Tattoo Middle in the shade Barely Branded as a base. I have been using this as a base underneath a lot of shadows, and it makes it look really nice. I did put Bon Bon over that color tattoo, and that's why it looks so metallic and amazing. Then I went back in with my crease brush just to make sure everything was blended, and that is the look that I got today, and I'm very much in love with it. It just looks so orange and so metallic in person. You honestly have no idea. A lot of the looks that I have pictures for I did a while ago, so if my memory of every exact shade isn't correct, there's not much I can do. I did them within the past month and my memory really isn't that great, especially when I'm stressed out about Calc 3 and linear algebra. But the first look I have to show you guys today is a similar look to what I'm wearing today. I most likely have Nugget and Mousse all in my crease, and it looks like I have put in all in my crease, and if I don't, it's probably frosting or rum raisin. I'm not sure if I used the color tattoo as a base that day. It looks that I did, and I definitely had caramel all over my lid. I love using caramel, bonbon, and butter pecan over that color tattoo. It just makes it stand out like crazy. This next look is one look of a ton of variations that I do when I have not a lot of time to get ready. So I'm going to kind of describe what I have going on in this look, but I do want to mention the other variations that I do during the week. I most likely, again, have Nugget and Mousse all in my crease as transition shades. I probably have truffled on my outer lid to kind of deepen it up, and then what I have been doing is putting mousse all over my lid to keep it a whole matte look, and it kind of looks like one shadow, like a one shadow kind of a look, which I think is really cool. Sometimes I put Nugget all over my lid and call it a day with those transition shades as well, and some days I even put peanut butter all over my lid. So whenever I do those next time, I will definitely snag a picture for you guys. This look again is a variation of what I am wearing today. I have nugget and mousse all in my crease. I probably have truffles all up in my crease to deepen it up. Maybe a little bit of hot fudge to deepen it up just a tad bit more. My Maybelline Color Tattoo and Barely Branded as a base for Butter Pecan. And I really love how Butter Pecan looks all over the lid, especially on top of that color tattoo. Ooh, the look that I'm showing you right now is actually a picture of the look that I'm wearing right now, and I just really love doing this look, and so that's the look I gravitated towards today. But I did want to show you guys that I did this look during the month, and that is what it looked like. And this is the blue look that I was talking to you about earlier when I was talking about Blueberry Swirl. In my crease as a transition, I have Nugget, maybe a little bit of mousse, but I highly doubt it. I think I just stayed with Nugget. And then what I did was take Peacock from Makeup Geek, which is this gorgeous blue. I packed it on the outer portion of my lid, kind of blended it in my crease. I chose this blue and using this blue on the outer corner instead of that Blueberry Swirl shade because this one is so much more pigmented and looks more blue on my eye than the Blueberry Swirl. So what I actually did was I used Blueberry Swirl as a deepener shade. So instead of using maybe like a little bit of black or a little bit of a darker brown to deepen up my crease, I actually used Blueberry Swirl because that one looks totally black on my eye, and I figured since I was doing a blue look anyway to stay with the blue family, and I use a little bit of Blueberry Swirl on the outermost part of my lid to deepen it up. In my inner corners, I actually used my blue sapphire shade that I have in my Kat Von D Alchemist holographic palette. I've been loving using this palette as a little companion for all of my looks. It's really fun if I do such a neutral look, but then throw on a colorful highlighter for my inner corner. It makes such a contrast, but it's just so cool. So I've been really enjoying it, pulling for that palette a whole lot more throughout this month. But that is my first update for my 2018 Pan That palette for you all. Again, I'm using my Too Faced Semi-Sweet Chocolate Bar palette. Let me know in the comments down below what kind of colors you like to see me play with this palette. I did throw in a couple Makeup Geek shadows into my 12 Pans of Christmas collab. I pulled in these reds and these greens. I actually used the reds in a look not too long ago, so if you'd like to see something with the greens and the reds with my Too Faced palette, let me know. I'd love to film it for you guys. But with that being said, thank you so much for watching this video. Please make sure you subscribe so that you don't miss any of my other Pan That palette updates, and I'll see you in my next video. Goodbye, guys.